What is up, everybody? Welcome into this new video. In this tutorial, this is going to be actually a complete tutorial, a full tutorial. I'm going to be showing you how we can start, how we can make a website from scratch. In today's tutorial, I'm going to be creating a clothing store, and actually I'm going to be trying to do this as fast as I can, but I'm going to be pretty sure that this is going to be taking some time. But what I want to do is to cover absolutely all the basic elements and everything that you need to know in order to have your store working and have active and with no kind of issues there. So let's get started. So guys, I'm going to leave you a link down below in the description so we can start with Shopify, because with that link down below you're going to be starting with only $1 by a plan of 3 months. Of course, with $1 per month, that would be like $3, but only 3 months for a basic or start plan. I think that this is really really cheap. So you're gonna be seeing something like this. Let's get started. Which of this best describes you? You want to choose I'm just starting, and then I'm gonna hit into next. Now, where would you like to sell? We want to choose an online store. If you want to enable a social media or an existing website or your blog, you can always choose that option. But in our case, we don't have a store, we don't have anything but, let's say, like our Facebook and Instagram. Or even if we don't have any kind of social media, you can just unselect this and choose next. And lastly, it's going to be asking like how you like the name of your store. So this is totally depending on what is the name of your brand. Now in my case, I do have here this document and I have just created this logo. I'm going to be choosing just one, and here take a look into this logo that was really quick to use, to create. So this one is called Humans. So my store name, I'm going to be naming it like this, with minimalist like this. And I'm just gonna see, like, as you can see, my store is now available. So what I want to do here is to hit into next. Now, where will your business be located? This part is really important if you want to start selling stuff and you want to receive the money. You want to choose exactly the country where your money, where your bank is affiliated with. In my case, it's Mexico. Or you can choose United States, you can choose Algeria, Albania. Into this website, I'm going to be choosing the United States, which is actually this option. And it looks like you're located in Mexico. You want to create a Shopify store. So we just want to make sure about the tax and duty obligations, the payment issues, the shipping issues, the localization, the Shopify benefits, and the terms of service. So I'm just going to be putting here this Mexico just for this tutorial. I'm going to be choosing this option. I'm going to hit into next. And lastly, my account should be created right away. So we need to provide whether you want to provide a phone number or an email in order to continue. So in my case, I'm going to be choosing continue with email. So here it says continue with email. I'm going to just be typing here like this, and type my email, and I want to type a passcode in order to create my Shopify ID. Once I created my Shopify, what I wanted to do is to go directly into my Gmail, into my Outlook, wherever mail you have, verify your own actual email, and then we are good to go. So we can start with some security verifications. And just like that, we are now inside into the second part of creating our website. So what I want to do is to either save this for later, and as you can see, my trial just started. Enjoy 3 months of Shopify for just $1 per month when you sign up for a monthly basic or starter plan. So in this tutorial, I'm going to be choosing exactly this plan so we can start actually like working into this website from actually today. So I clicked into that option. And here, as you can see, we do have 3 different options. So what I want to do here is to choose the option that says monthly, and the one that has the benefit for us, which in our case, that would be the basic, or you can choose the starter plan. Now, the starter between the basic and the starter is that we can have like 1 user, 1 shareable product pages, and transaction fees of 5% of the fees. And here we do have 2 staff members, and the transaction is a little bit less, and the currency conversion is of course 2 less. So that's the reason why we want to choose basic instead of starter. So choose this plan, and once you choose that option, it's going to be sending us into the billing cycle. So I'm just going to be sticking around with the monthly section here. So as you can see, we're going to be charged $1 for the first 3 months, which I think it's really great. So once we successfully done that, I want to go into confirmed my billing cycle. So in here, what I want to do is to input all my information, and then I want to save this address. After you save that address, you want to choose a payment method. Here in my case, I'm going to choose a credit card. I'm going to input all my information, and once you have successfully done that, hit into continue. Alright, so before we continue, it's really important, guys, that you go into your store details. You might see that this part is actually blurred because this is all my information, but here into the store, you want to locate your address as well as your contact information, the store currency, and after that you want to go into the payment section, and here into the payment section you want to add a bank account as well to double check your account using a authenticator code. Whether you want to choose an application or a phone number is going to be really easy. You can choose Shopify payment if you wanted to. Just go into add payment methods and choose the option that best fits for you depending on the country where you're currently living. And with that being said, now we can have we can claim actually the monthly plan that we were talking before. And just like that, we have now been successfully subscribed. Now if you want to input here other like this and tell like Sec Express, it will be kindly accepted. So here tap into submit. So now that we have here created our subscription, now that we have redeemed our subscription, what is next? Well, speaking about the next tool, that will be step number 2. Step number 2 is to actually take a look into our brand. So if I go into my settings, which is located in here, I'm going to hit into settings. I want to scroll all my way down until I find the brand. So here where it says brand, we must have a default logo, a square, our primary colors, cover images, our slogan, show description, social links, and of course one of the most important parts is to have the domain. So first of all, why don't we just focus into the brand and later we can just check it out the domain, right? So first of all, I'm going to hit into brand, and here into brand, what I want to do is to choose the logo that I have created here. So I want to choose the +1, hit into upload image, and here I want to choose the image that I just downloaded, and here, which is actually the front part of my logos, I'm going to hit into open, and just like that, here is my image already been uploaded. If you have any trouble by creating your brand or the name of your website, Shopify has an amazing tool. So go into a new tab. Here you want to look for Shopify, go into space, go into logo generator, and here into the logo generator, what I want to do is to choose the free logo maker. I want to choose this one, and here you can create your logo with these tools that are from Hatchful. Those guys are from Shopify, and those tools are totally for free. So it's really easy to start your logo. If you actually want ideas for your slogan, for your brand, for your domain, everything can be with Shopify. So let's say for example Shopify, I want to tap, let's say for example, brand generator like this. I'm going to tap into the enter mark, and here's going to be appearing a lot of services from Shopify, for example the logo maker, creator, logo generator, and much more. So now that you guys took the time and created your logo, your brand, we're now good to go. I'm going to hit into done. So there you have it. It was really easy to create one of those, and just like that I can choose to change that. I'm going to leave it like that, and here to have the preview whether that will be like a circle or you want to choose like a square, or choose, in my case I'm going to just stick around with a circle and just leave it like that. Now if you do want to have like more ideas, or you have more ideas, you want to have like your creativeness using different tools, different platforms for designers, I can totally suggest you to use Canva. Now Canva is totally for free. Now you're here in Canva, just have to provide an email and passcode to verify that email, hit into create a design, and here I want to choose custom size, and I just want to use, let's say for example, 100 by 100 pixels px, create a new design. There we go. So now what I want to do is to import here into elements. I want to actually drag and drop elements that can be helping me to create my brand. So speaking about my brand, for example, this one is being called humans. So really easy to use, like that. And I can go into elements and I'm going to try to look for people or just like a person, like that. Hit into graphics, and as you can see, we do have, for example, this one or this one, and some elements are actually like good enough to change the colors. So I'm gonna just leave it like that. I mean, of course, this is like if this was like a bathroom, right? So this is just like an example of what we can do here. So in my case, I already have created something really basic and simple. So what I want to do is to import the images that I have just created. You can see I have this one. So what I want to do is to make this a little bit more smaller. So I want to fit everything. I want to fit this into my actual square. So I'm going to be choosing, for example, this one. I'm going to be deleting like this, and I'm going to be putting something like that, and a little bit on the left, I guess. I'm going to leave it like this, and we're actually good to go. So there you go. So once you do guys have that successfully created, what you want to do is to hit into share. I'm going to be choosing download. You want to, of course, enable the PNG file. If you want to size that a little bit bigger to have more resolution, you can just apply that and hit into download. So now that my brand has now been created with Canva, I'm going to just save that into my files. I'm going to go back into my Shopify, and I want to change this from the one that we just created. I'm going to hit into add images. This is the one that we created. Hit into open, and just wait until this one has been processed. Select the image and hit into done. And boom, just like that, this is how it's going to be looking. It's looking really great, right? So now with that being said, as you can see, this one actually let us a recommendation of 512. So with that being said, what you want to do is to go back, go here into share, go here into download, and try to make this a little bit more big enough to actually like have more resolution. You can go into the resize, and here want to, let's say, use 600 by 600 like this, and I want to choose resize, and boom, the resize has been successfully done. Here once again into download, I'm going to make this a little bit more big enough to have like just a little bit more resolutions, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing. So once you do have that information already added, the next part is to actually do some colors. Now in my case, I do have only black and white, so this is going to be like a very minimalistic style. But if you have, let's say for example, like some colors, blue or yellow or red, you want to choose that down in here. So I'm going to be choosing circle. I'm going to scroll a little bit down, and here into colors, the primary color that actually works into my website or into my brand, I want to choose add a primary color, and I want to choose the white color. And the contrasting color, I don't want to choose the like super black. I'm going to be choosing something a little bit more like this. And here into the secondary color, you want to choose something related into your brand. So in my case, I don't want to see too much colors, so I just want to focus into something white or red, or actually black. So I'm going to stick around with the gray color like this, and here's another contrasting color. I'm going to leave it like that into the white color. If you want to add a secondary color, you can do that in here. I'm going to leave it like that. And here we do have the cover images. So this cover image, it says key image that show off your brand and profile pages and applications. So here you can add a new cover image with a recommended 1920 by 1080. So you want to do exactly the same thing. I want to go back into Canva. I'm going to be choosing the actual home, or go back into home, create a design, choose 1920 by 1080, which as you can see here is a recent, or write it in here. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing. Now, this part is going to be helping us to, let's say, to improve, to look more professional our website. So I can strongly suggest you to, yes, you want to import here your slogan, your logo, whatever you want it to, but here I want to fill as much information as I can of my brand, of my website. So let's say, for example, here that I have this color, happiness, it's on you, and here I want to leave it like this and input the colors just like that, or maybe a little bit down here. So what I want to do is to customize this so people can see how it's going to be looking my actual website. So I can create something more catchier like this, and I want to change the colors into this ones, and then I'm going to be choosing my slogan and bring that to the front, put this one into the middle like this, and once again what I'm going to do here is to change the colors. So now what I just need to do, if I want to add like more stuff, let's say for example that I want to add like an image here, or I want to add I don't know, maybe like a t-shirt or something, I can go back into elements, and here I want to look for let's say want to look for mockups, or go into uploads, go and select here your logo, let's say for example this one, and I'm going to tap edit image, and here what I want to do is to look for smart mockups, see all, and I'm going to choose t-shirt. So what's going to happen here is that Canva is going to be generating automatically an image about a t-shirt with my logo. So I'm going to send this into the front so I can take a look into how it's going to be looking, and I can import that into my actual background. So in my case, I don't want to do that because I think that it's actually looking great without anything at all. So I'm going to just delete that if I don't want to see anything. I'm going to just delete it like that. And here into elements, let's say for example that I want to look for, let's say like a hand, go into graphics, look for something into black and white style. I don't know, maybe this one. And here I want to choose exactly, let's say colors, black and white colors, magic recommendations, and then later. So there, once again, I'm going to hit into share, download, and I'm going to import that into my Shopify cover images. I'm going to hit into save, and I'm going to just do something like that, add cover image, hit into add image, this one, and hit into done. So as you can see, I'm creating like some contrast between my profile picture and my cover image. So here it is, the preview 3.1 if you want to see it like that, or leave it into 16.9. And then I'm going to scroll a little bit down. As you can see, we have a slogan. So here what I want to do is to copy and paste my slogan, happiness, it's on you. Or what you can do if you have like not your own slogan, what you can do is to go here into a new tab, and here you want to tap Shopify slogan generator. And Shopify is going to be helping us to create our very first slogan. So here we have Slogan Maker. There are a lot of tools to use for free, so there's actually no excuse, guys, to create your own website. Here into show description, you want to tap, let's say for example, speaking about my website, a clothing store, or tapped a online clothing store for minimalistic, or let's say with a minimalistic style. There we go. Now we do have some social links. Once again, if you don't have any social link yet, you don't have to worry about that. We can do that in some other tutorial. I just want to focus here into website. So hit into save, and there we go. Our branding has now been saved. So step number 3, the next step is to close this one, hit into the X mark, go into settings once again, and look for domains. So here into domains, since we already have a new plan, what we can do is to connect an existing domain or buy a new domain. So what I want to do is to either choose buy new domain or connect existing domain, because I don't want people to look at my brand as humans9995 myshopify.com. This is not looking too professional. Let's say I want to focus into humans store or humansclothingstore.com or .online. That totally depends on you. So want to go into buy a new domain. In here, as you can see, there are the options where I want to choose. Let's say, for example, that what I want to do here is to actually look for let's say for something like related into my brand, let's say humans. And as you can see, we do have some available. Actually, I don't have anything available yet. I'm going to go into the next one, and as you can see, we do have like one with $86 per year, $30 per year, $89 per year. So how can we buy some something like a little bit more cheaper than these prices? What I can suggest to you is to leave everything like this. I'm going to go back. I'm going to hit into connect existing domain. I'm going to leave this like that, and I'm going to open a new tab and look for namecheap.com. In here, we want to register a domain name. And here, if you tap, let's say for example, human store, I'm going to hit into search. I'm going to make just a quick comparison between the prices we just saw from Shopify now into Namecheap. So here, as you can see, I'm going to scroll a little bit down and see what this Namecheap has to offer to us, speaking about our prices. Take a look in here. We do have the humanstore.store or even humanstore.io, and this one is humanstore is less than $2 per year. It's very cheap. So I'm going to leave you guys a link down below in the description, or even a video here on the upper side of how I buy this domain. So what I want to do is to go into my dashboard of the actual Namecheap. I'm going to hit into my username. I'm going to tap my passcode. I'm going to hit into signed in and continue. So once you buy a domain, which is actually really simple, just type into add to cart and go into view all, and your order summary is going to be appearing in here. So it's a really quick process, but just in case you have any question, I'm going to leave you guys the video down below so you can see the full process of the buyment of a Namecheap. What you actually want to focus on is into how we can connect this domain into Shopify. So if I go into my dashboard, here as you can see, I have this one called humansproject.org. So what I do want to do is to actually copy this domain, and I'm going to paste that in here. And I'm going to hit into next. So once we do have successfully done that, as you can see here, the domain, connecting your domain. It says to connect your domain, follow the instructions to change your provider account settings. And what you want to do before you tap verify connection, you want to look for follow setting instructions. So as you can see, it says connecting a third-party domain. I'm going to scroll a little bit down, and after you purchase a domain from a third party such as Google Domains, GoDaddy, blah, we need to actually do something like in the video. So here, whether you can use two things. You can go into play. I'm going to stop this. I'm actually going to go into this part of the video. So in this case, guys, I'm going to be showing you how we can do this because actually Shopify has a video. So I'm going to just skip this one. I'm going to show you how we can do this. If you used the Namecheap, what you can do is to once again go into your domain list. And I'm going to be looking for the one of we just purchased, which is actually this one, humansproject.org. If I go into the three dots, I can go into manage. And as you can see, we do have the payment option, we have the products, the sharing, and advanced DNS. Focused only into advanced DNS. And in here, what I want to do is to look at all these options that appears in here. And what I want to do, if you want to choose a template, let's say for example Shopify, boom, as you can see we have this one already been created. So I just want to focus into the CNAME record host www. Here into value, I'm gonna delete this one. .com. Try to look for shops dot before the my Shopify and hit into save changes, and there we go. So now what you want to do is to add a new record until you find the A record, and here we do have the host, the IP address, and the automatic. So if this is the value, I'm going to leave it into automatic, hit into save changes, and just like that, what we can do is to go back into connecting a third party or into this part and here into verify connection. So as you can see, we do have the A record, the name, the current IP address, and the required value. So what that means is that you need to copy this required value and hit into go into advanced DNS, hit into the one that were required by the Shopify. So I want to input the host that appears in here, the current IP address, and the automatic. Save changes, go back here, hit into verify connection, and see if this one is now been connected. So as you can see, it says SSL pending, primary for online store, redirect to humansproject.org. So I'm going to go back here, I'm going to reload the page, and as you can see, this one has now been added successfully. So I'm going to go back here into my domains of Shopify. I'm going to reload the page once again just to verify that everything has been successfully added. So I'm going to click in here, and here as you can see, it says set a redirect. So there we go. Now when someone enters in here into my website, they're going to be seeing this one. So we are actually good to go with the next part. So now we've added a plan, now we've added a domain, now we've created a brand. So what is left in order to get started? If you go into the payment section, what you want to do is to choose a provider in order to set a third party to enable payment methods, so you guys can start to receive the money and you can start to sell your stuff before you can create your website. Yes, I know it's gonna be a little tough before start to actually create like a template and add your stuff, but this is like really important in order to do this in a very fast, basic, and corrected way. So choose a provider. So if I choose a provider, what I want to do is to choose the payment method that you want to accept. Let's say, for example, that I want to add Visa. I want to enable MasterCard, which is actually this one. And I'm going to here choose the option that best fits for me. In my case, I do like to choose this option of Mercado Pago because this one actually is the one that best fits for me depending on the country where I'm currently living. So what I want to do here is just to type the client ID, which is actually this one. This is in my case, this is this one. So what's going to happen here is that I just need to import here my account information. I want to hit into enable the test mode and here into active Mercado Pago. Like that. Just like that, actually my payment method has now been enabled. So now I have the payment method, I have the checkout, I have the brand, everything has now been added successfully. So now I'm going to hit into the X mark and we can now start with the design of our website. So as you can see, we do have some setup guides of the brand assets and the custom domain. So when we create already a professional logo, in my case I've already created that, or you can use Canva as I just told you how we can do this. I'm going to go back here, and here if I want to create a clothing store as a dropshipping supplier, I want to look for a supplier that can help me to create the actual clothing, and I just have to add my logo into that clothing and I don't have to do absolutely anything, just to input that into my store. So if you choose browse print on demand applications, I actually want to look for something called Printify or Printful. So Printful, this is an application that can be helping us to actually create and design a lot of stuffs here, a lot of clothing, more than just clothing. So choose the print of demand application that you want to add. In my case, I want to choose Printful. And here I want to choose the add application. As you can see, there's a free plan available. So I'm going to choose add application. really simple to add that. You want to do that inside Shopify, inside of the actual application. So the integration is going to be really simple. So once I accept the installation, as you can see, I'm going to hit into allow everyone, and what I want to do is to register here with my email. So depending on the country where I'm currently living, this one has been already updated into Spanish, so I don't have to worry about that. I can change that later. So in my case, I just need to import my email, and then I'm going to go into a passcode, and then I'm going to hit into accept the terms of service and hit into register. Now what I want to do is to connect my store with this email, and what I want to do just is to confirm the email so I can continue here, and I'm going to hit into close like that. And then what I can do, if I want to change the language, I can do that in here, and even I can change the currency that actually I'm going to be working on. So here what I want to do is to just verify my stuff, and once I make the confirmation, now I can close this one. There we go, or you can reload the page if you want to. So how can we get started here into Printful? What you want to do is to go into your stores like this, and here you want to just verify that Shopify has now been added into Printful. So as you can see, it says active. Selling region, I want to locate North America, and here I want to choose add product, so we can start working with the actual Printful. So as you can see, we do have a lot of options to use. So what I want to do is to focus into women's clothing, all women's clothing, and you don't have to worry about the genre, because there are a lot of tools, there are a lot of clothings that are actually unisex, so I don't want to focus on that so much. So as you can see, we do have this one. It says unisex eco raglan hoodie, and this is the price, $24. So this is how it's going to be charging us when someone actually creates, when they create the order. Let's say for example that we select this option, this sweet shirt. So we've created this sweet shirt, and when they actually make the purchase into Shopify, what you want to do is to charge for the price that was being charged for the shipping cost and some fees that you want to add in order to get money, to gain money. So you want to look for the one that does not have like a lot of actually like prices, really high prices. So I'm gonna stick around with this one, unisex heavy blend hoodie, and this one has a lot of colors, shipping from United States and Canada. It's really important to choose the one that says shipping from the country that you're currently living, or where you have your audience located. So in my case, I want to sell to United States, so I want to ship that from the United States. I'm going to choose this option, and now here we are into the design part. So as you can see, this is the actual hoodie here. So whether you want to choose the technique of an embroidery or the DTG printing, I can strongly suggest you to use this one, because we can cover like more space into our hoodie. So if you choose this technique, the only way that we can add the only space is going to be added in here. But if I choose DTG printing, take a look into all the space that we are now good to cover into our hoodie. So you want to choose actually the colors that you want to add. I'm going to be choosing black, because I'm going to be adding a design that is actually black. So I'm going to be choosing white, and just like that, I'm going to just use white color. And you want to choose all the images, all the sizes, of course. So I'm going to hit into design, and here into design you want to choose a file, and here what I want to do is to upload a new file. You want to read that, hit into I accept, and here I want to look for my logo. Now in my case, if I want to actually create like more stuff, or if I want to have like a really great advice or great design, I want to just make sure that I am uploading the right file in order to continue. So what I want to do is to have a great guideline. So hit into acceptable content guidelines, and in here it's going to be popping up the printful terms and the policies of the guidelines. So I'm going to scroll a little bit down, and look for the actual guidelines that can be helping me to get like really great content. So here I want to go into my Canva. I'm going to go into create a design, and here into custom size, do you want to create something like a really great size, let's say like 2000 by 2000. Here into create design, and here into upload your own custom image. Let's say for example this one. I'm gonna move this a little bit more big enough like this. And what you want to do, this is really important, is to actually hit into edit image, and I want to choose the background remover because this has a white background. But if we add this into another color, the logo is going to be added with the square, white color square. So I don't want to focus in that, I just want to focus into the actual logo. So I'm just going to wait a few seconds until Canva does the magic, and boom, there we go. So just to make sure that everything has now been set up, I want to look here into the background and choose another color just to verify that we don't have anything but the logo design. Boom. So I'm going to hit into share, download. I want to enable the transparent background, really important. Choosing to download, and now we're good to go. We can go into downloads. I'm going to hit into my logo design. I'm going to hit into humans, down slash, and hit into logo for a hoodie. There we go. So I'm going to go back here into my product, upload my new file, which is actually this one, and there we go. So I just want to wait a few seconds here. Here is my file uploaded into my library of the store, of my store. So hit into apply. I just want to wait here, and as you can see, here it is. So I'm going to go into the X mark. There's a remove background from the printful, but this one has printful plus, and we want to do this totally for free. So I can strongly suggest you to use another application if you want to avoid that. So here what I can do is to make this a little bit more big or smaller depending on what I'm looking for. In my case, I'm going to leave it like this, and open that, let's say like that, and leave it like this. And here we're good to go. So what I want to do here is to hit into the back part. If you want to add something else into the back side, notice that if you add something else like a new design to the back side, the price is going to be changing. So here into left sleeve, you can add more stuff in here, into the right sleeve of course, and depending on what are the actual technique and what are the designs that you add into your hoodie, into your design, of course, it's going to be telling you like to, let's say, pay a little bit more. But in my case, I'm just going to be sticking around with this one. You want to make sure that the print quality is good, the width and the height is everything correctly. So go into the process to medium, like that. So what I want to do is to choose now the mockup preview. So speaking about the mockup, this is the way that people are going to be watching our products. So I want to look for some catchy images. As you can see, this is like really well, but it's not appearing like to my actual design. So I want to look for something more attractive like this one. So I kind of like this one, and I want to just focus into the front part because I don't have anything on the back side. So I'm going to hit into additional. And here, as you can see, we do have more additional stuff that we can add into our mockups. So I'm going to add, let's say, for example, this one. And I'm going to add like a person using my design, like that. I'm going to be choosing this one, and I'm going to be focusing into this one as well. So, and lastly, I'm going to hit into add a product video if you want to add a product video. But in my case, I don't want to do that because I don't have that yet. So I'm just going to focus into proceed to details. Now this is the very important part, the pricing section. So what I want to do is to choose the language, the product type, and here I want to If you want to fill your own description, you can do that. As you can see, the printful has been generating something really accurate. If there's one fashion rule to live by, let it be that comfort does not have to be compromised for the sake of style. So let's say that what I can do is to import my slogan in here. I'm gonna just delete this, where happiness it's yours. Gonna delete this and hit into a comma and per. Successfully been done that. So I'm gonna scroll a bit down, and as you can see, we do have benefits, the size guides. If you want to add like a size, let's say imperial or metric, and you want to add some text. In text, I want to focus into humans clothing, and hoodie, white hoodie, and there we go. If you want to publish that into the product, into your online store, of course we want to do that. So I want to enable this option, and here into products collection we have the home page. I want to enable the home page. We leave it like that, verify that everything has been successfully done. And as you can see, I just want to change the product title, because the actual product title does not look so attractive. So we do have the unisex eco wriggling hoodie. So let's say that I want to add something a little bit more interesting, like limited edition, let's say humans, like that, humans unisex eco wriggling hoodie. So this one looks like more interesting, right? So I'm gonna just go and scroll all my way down until we proceed to the pricing. And here, do you want to enable the free shipping? If you enable the free shipping, what you want to do is to add the shipping from your supplier into the retail price, so you don't have to let's say get less money. So here's the size guide. I'm going to enable this. The free shipping, you want to enable that, but if you enable the free shipping, you want to add the shipping that can be costing us inside the price, so we don't have to pay for that. And the revenue, you want to add that option. I'm going to go into the X mark, and as you can see, this is the price that actually appears in here. So the printable price is $35, and the revenue is, I'm pretty sure that it's like $3. So the retail price, this is how much are going to be customers paying for this product. So what you want to do is to choose a highly retail price level. As you can see, this one has been added automatically. So Printful has been adding that for only like a suggestion. So if you're okay with that, hit into submit to store. If you're not okay with that, you want to level up or to just scale a bit less to your prices, hit into submit to your store if you think that you're now good to go. And as you can see, it says limited edition Events Unisex Ego Wriggling Hoodie, and here is my logo of my brand actually. So what I just need to do is to go back into my Shopify, and here into my Shopify I want to reload my page. I'm going to be closing this one just for a second here, and what I want to do is to make sure that my item has now been successfully added into my store. So I'm going to go back into my products, and here should be appearing my hoodie. So as you can see, it's now been added correctly. So now we've added a product. Now we've added some stuff into my online store. We've added our brand, we've added domain, we've added the shipping cost, we've added the payments, and we do have a plan, of course. What is left to do here is to actually create our website. So if you follow all the steps that we just did, the last part, which is actually create the very first website, is going to be really simple, because we already created a brand and our product, so everything is like just really easy to do. So go into online store inside Shopify, and inside Shopify what you can do is to choose a theme for your store, or to use the one that has been created for you. In my case, I'm using the Dawn version, and as you can see, all this stuff has been added automatically, so we didn't have to focus a lot into the design of the store. That's the reason why you want to add that into your brand before you want to customize your store. So we're going to hit into customize. Once again, I'm going to go into the editor section, and as you can see, here's my store. This is how my stuff has been created so far. So I think like I don't need this part, this very first part. I want to delete. If you don't like to see something, you can click on it and look for remove section. So I just want to focus into all my elements that appears in here. So as you can see here, some feature products that are being created and been listed, and here's the price. So if you scroll down, here is a multimedia college where people can see some feature collection. So if I choose select collection, homepage, here it's going to be appearing my items. So there we go. It's really easy to add that. Once again, if I don't want to focus into something, let's say I want to delete this option, I'm going to hit into remove section, and here I do have this column, and this column. So here into this column, I'm going to delete this one. I don't want to focus in here to remove selection. I want to do something as much easier and basic as we can, because remember that we want to go live like right away at the end of the video, right? So here into the home section, we do have the catalog and we have the contact. If I clicked in here, what I can do is to choose another background. As you can see, here's one background. I can choose another one. I can choose another background. I can choose more colors if I wanted to, just to have like more creative stuff here into my actually website. So in my case, what I want to do is to change the brand that appears in here, because I think that I want to look for something a bit more interesting. So just in case that you want to edit your stuff here, what you want to do is to go into the exit part, but first go into save, of course. I'm going to go into exit, and here into exit, once again go into settings, go into your brand, into this part which is brand, and here into my logo, I want to change this one. I'm going to do exactly the same thing that we did before with our page, with our logo. So I'm going to go into add image, and there we go. So I don't want to focus into the square, the background square that appears into my logo. I just want to focus into the main logo. I'm going to hit it done, and there we go. So this is how it's going to be appearing into my actual website. So go into save, and we're good to go. I'm going to go back into my online store once again, and once we are in here, go into customize once again, and just like that, my logo has now been updated. So in my case, I just want to focus to do this into, let's say, in a white color, so I can just feature that, or you can just leave it into the first accent like this, or leave it into the white color, and here is my logo. But if you want to do that backwards, what I can do is to actually, let's say for example, select my logo here into edit image, and here I just want to try to emboss my image, so I can change the saturation like this, and I'm going to be choosing this background like that. And as you can see, we do have actually another version of the logo. So what I can do is just to upscale this a little bit more, hit into edit image, select the background remover, and then we are actually good to go. Now you don't have to do this into Canva. I'm pretty sure that there are a lot of options in the internet. You can go into a new tab and tap like background remover online. There are a lot of places where you can remove the background from different images, so you don't want to be like too scared that you don't have enough money to pay for that. So there's always a way to do your stuff. So go into transparent background, go into download once again, and the rest is exactly the same stuff. So now what is left to be done here? Once that we have here our logo, we do have now our brand, we do have our domain, we have everything now been added into our store. So I think we're now good to go, right? Yes, but first of all, what we need to do is to quit a passcode. I want to remove a passcode that has been added automatically just for verification and security reasons. So what am I talking about? I'm going to hit into save. I'm going to be showing you that here into the online store. So you might see at the very first part of the video that it says your online store is a passcode protected. So this is only for people who does not have their website created with a payment method. They have not paid for the actual plan. So once you do that, you need to enable this passcode manually. So here into remove passcode, and your store is open for business. So there we go. I'm gonna go into close. I'm gonna scroll a little bit down, hit into customize, and just make sure that my brand is now ready to go. For example, I think that I don't need this one. I'm just gonna delete this remove section, and here to have the multimedia college. So let's say for example that I want to add something else like information, and here into info I can change like the type. So let's say about, and quick links I'm just gonna add like, let's say like links, and our mission, you want just to focus into the subtext, let's say it's happiness. And the very last thing that I can suggest to you in order to just get started here and to leave your store like just right away already being created is to actually, I'm going to go into the home part so we can go back into the very first part of the video, is to just to make sure that I'm going to go back here and to save. It's really important to save your website, guys. You want to make a test before going live. You want to test that before sharing your stuff to your friends, to wherever people you are creating your store. So how can we do that? What I want to do is to go back. I'm going to go into exit and hit into view your store. So it's going to be popping up this new section. So for instance, I can tell you that, for example, here it's not appearing the domain that I just created, so I need to change that. But here, as you can see, the home, the catalog, the contact, and the contact fields are actually working. It's looking really great. So if I choose, let's say for example, the item that I just created, and I want to choose like a custom size, and I want to buy this one now, what I just want to do is just to make sure that this one is now successfully done here. So if you want to make a payment here and you just want to make sure that this is actually working, you want to go back here into your settings. Here you want to go into payments, and here into payments wants you to have the, for example, this one, it says Mercado Pago. I'm going to go into manage, and I want to enable the test mode. So all the transactions with Mercado Pago are going to be simulated. So if I go into save and I make a payment here using the Mercado Pago, I don't have to worry about anything here because this is just as an example, and it should be appearing here, my order here into my store. And lastly, guys, speaking about the policy and the refunds and all that, if you go into your settings and you scroll down until you find the policies, Shopify can be helping us to create a template of policy, privacy policy, terms of service, shipping policy, contact information. So I'm just going to be showing you, if I choose create from template, boom, the refund policy has now been added. We have a 30-day return policy, blah 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 blah. All this information can be added automatically. We just need to provide an email. As you can see, it has been added automatically, and here it says we'll need to send to the following address. Just scroll a bit down just to make sure that everything has been successfully added. Do exactly the same with the privacy policy. Read that. If you think that this one has been added correctly, everything has been added successfully done, go back here, create a template for terms of service. So read all of that, and if you are okay with all that information, I think we're actually good to go. So I'm going to delete this one because I think this one does not apply for me, like that. And here you want to just have the shipping policy just in case this one has for shipping policy, depending on if you are making a print on demand or drop shipping. In our case, this one does not apply because we are using the printful. So go into saved policies, and those stops should be added right away. So as you can see, guys, our stuff, our actual store has now been added correctly. So what I want to do is just to emulate a payment method. So I want to choose into the shipping to the shipping method. As you can see, the shipping method is now being added as a free option because we didn't add the shipping payment into our brand, into our product. So that's the reason why I didn't choose to free shipping. So you just want to make sure of that. I'm going to get into continue payment. And in here, I just want to make sure that the Mercado Pago has been added. So I'm going to choose Mercado Pago, same shipping address, and complete the order. And lastly, what's going to happen to me is going to be sending me into Mercado Pago so I can make the payment here. So this one is of course invalid because I'm just making sure that the actual website is working. So if I go here back of course into my Shopify, I just want to make sure that this one appears into my store. And here, as you can see, I'm gonna scroll a bit down, and just to make sure that this one appears into my recommendations, add an about us page. If you have already added all of that into your store, you don't have to worry about that. But I do want to focus into the domain that it wasn't added correctly. So go into domains if you see some issue like me. Here, as you can see, we have this one, the domain, and here I want to choose this option, and I want to choose set as primary, and there we go. So now I'm going to go back here into my Shopify, into my online store, and view my store just to make sure that my brand has the actual website domain that I just added. And as you can see, just like that, we have successfully created our very first website clothing store. So there you have it, guys. Now we've reached now the end of the video, but just in case you have any question, you can leave it down below in the comment section. We're more than happy to answer all of your questions. This is a very basic way of how we can get started here into Shopify. I'm pretty sure that if you are from another country, let's say from the United States, from Brazil, Argentina, from Europe, it's going to be a little different speaking about the shipping policies and all of that. So if you go into your settings and you go into your payments, you want to add the payment method that best suits for your country, and into the shipping and delivery it's exactly the same. In our case, it only applies for the actual printful. And here into printful, remember that we will focus it only into North America, right? So if I go into settings, I want to look for stores. I want to go into Got It, and here I want just to make sure that the place where I'm going to be selling my stuff, it's exactly the one that I have added into my actual Shopify. So if I go into shipping, we have the shipping configuration, and here we have USA and Canada. So I want to go back into Shopify, and here into shipping and delivery, you want to add the location of United States. Here into rest of the world, you want to add something new, but that totally depends on your country. In my case, this one actually does not appear because I'm currently into Mexico City, but as you can see, our website has not been created like successfully. We didn't have to do anything now. So if I created something else into Printful and I sent that into my store, automatically it's going to be appearing into my website and here into my featured products. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing that we just did before. Leave it like that, proceed to the medium, and change the actual parameters, speaking about the prices and the shipping cost and all that, just to make sure that we have more than just one item. And you can see, guys, that it's really easy to add that into our store. So I'm going to focus here into this main markup because I think this one is looking great. I want to attach the site guide. You want to add some text. You want to choose exactly the same collection of the latest product, and hit into proceed to pricing. As you can see, this is the revenue. I'm going to leave this like that and hit into submit to store. So there, here it is, our unisex t-shirt. If I go now into my online store, I want just to make sure this one has been added. I'm going to hit into customize, and here into customize I have some featured products. So I reload my website, and boom, here is our items already added into our store. So there you have it, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more full tutorials speaking about brands and how to get started. As you can see, it wasn't that hard. Yes, it took us a little bit longer than usual, but I think that you are now good to go and ready to start with your very first brand online. So thank you once again for watching the video, guys, and I'll see you on the next video.